Welcome back to Stewardship in All Things. I'm Aaron, where we practice being faithful with little by stewarding it all. Uh, I wanted to kind of dive into this one thing that was ruining my life, uh, to say lightly, I guess. And maybe you struggle with this too. Maybe this one thing is causing problems in your own life, and maybe you don't even know it. Maybe you see it as like a trivial thing, or maybe it's something that you actually enjoy. But for me, this one thing was ruining my life. And I thought that I really enjoyed it. I thought that it was something that I like to do. I thought it was something interesting. But the more and more that I evaluated it, the more I realized like there's very little that I gained from it. And there was a lot more that was causing me problems in a lot of my life that to some seemed like, well, that's kind of drastic. But I think that this one thing, if you can give it up for a month, I think it'll change your life. And I think that you'll see that you don't really need it as much. And this one thing that I'm talking about is social media. And I know that we live in a tech age, a social media age where we want to be connected with people. We want to see what everybody's doing. We want to see how everyone's doing. We want to stay connected with our favorite sports teams, favorite um, or our kids' schools or whatever. And the more I sat and realized that it was doing more harm than good, I knew that I had to change something because it really was taking a toll on my mental health and just how I dealt with things throughout the day. So some backstory is I my screen time was 6 to 8 hours a day. I would catch myself not being able to have any type of break in my day without picking up my phone. I'm stopping at a red light. I'm checking my phone. I'm putting food in the microwave. I'm checking my phone. I'm waiting for my kids to brush their teeth so I can tuck them in bed and tell them good night. I'm checking my phone. I lay in bed before I go to sleep. I check my phone. And the more that I saw this, the more I realized like I'm spending like an entire working day on my phone sometimes. And I know that that seems like, wow, you're undisciplined. And you're right. Like it is one of those problems for me where I was truly just undisciplined with how I utilize my screen, how do I utilize my phone. And other people were picking up on it. My wife would pick up on it. Worse off, my kids were picking up on how much I'm on my phone. And I really didn't want to set an example in my house and set a culture of having to constantly be entertained. Um, my friend Chris Jones over at the Undistracted Christian, he posted a video, a book review on a book that he read about basically scrolling ourselves to death and just entertaining ourselves to death. And the more I started evaluating that, the more I started saying like, yeah, maybe that's me. And I kind of I had to do something. So for the entire month of September and maybe forever if it goes well and I see positive results for a long time, I've deleted my social media apps. I took Facebook and Instagram off of my phone. I deleted any games that I might be playing. I took Pinterest off my phone. Anything that's going to cause me to scroll, I eliminated it from my homepage and completely off my phone because I didn't want to be tempted. I didn't want to be tempted to just pick my phone up and, if I just deleted Facebook, well, then I'm going to scroll Instagram. If I just deleted Facebook and Instagram, well, then I'm just going to search Pinterest to be entertained with all the good ideas everybody has. And I knew that I had to do something drastic. So deleting all of it was the option. But I also added one more thing that has really been a good cue and a good trigger for me was I made a screen for my lock screen. I made a little graphic for my screen and it literally says screen time is ruining your life. And that's pretty bold, but I needed a bold message to really get my attention. But underneath that in smaller print, I put 5 things as reminders of why I'm doing this. And I'd like to go over those with you guys today. So number one was put your phone away and do something meaningful. Now, what's something meaningful? Well, it could be anything. If you're a Christian like myself, maybe the meaningful thing is I'm spending way more time on my phone than I am in the Word or in prayer. John Piper said, and this is a paraphrase, social media is in screen time is going to be something held accountable in eternity for not saying we didn't, or saying we didn't have enough time to pray. I mean, imagine if you're spending as much time in prayer or in your Bible as you are on your screen. And I mean, go ahead, go check your screen time after this video is over and figure out, like, what would your life look like if you spent more time in the Word or more time in prayer than you did on social media. And it doesn't have to be spiritual, it could be something practical. So do something meaningful for your spouse if you're married. My wife mentioned that she hated our garage because of how cluttered and disorganized it was. So yesterday, yeah, I've been without social media apps since the beginning of September. Today's the 4th. And I didn't have anything to do. I was just kind of standing around. So I was like, you know what? Today I'm going to go organize the garage. And I took a 2-car garage that only fit 1 car. And now I'm pretty sure I could fit 2 cars in there now. So that's something meaningful for her, because I took a burden that she had and I took care of it. So she felt valued. She felt like there was something good going on here. And so I was like, you know what? This is a positive thing. I put my phone away and I did something meaningful for her. So you get to define your meaningful. You get to decide who's going to say what's meaningful in your life. You can make it personal. You can make it relational. You can make it with your kids. You can do it with your occupation. You can do it with school if you're a student. Anything meaningful. The second thing was this was a big one for me. Stop using the excuse that you're tired when you're really just being lazy. I would check out on the couch in between things. I would just sit there and I'd be like, I'm just tired. I just want to check out. And I would scroll. Not too tired to scroll, not too tired to look at what's going on. But I could have been doing something like making a bracelet with my daughter. She likes to make these little rubber band bracelets. And that's something easy and doesn't require any energy whatsoever. I could be doing that. But I would often just be like, how tired am I that I had to sit and scroll and neglect everyone around me for the sake of saying I'm tired, when really I'm just being lazy. And I think that's a big problem for us as people, is we don't define what laziness actually is in our lives. And we're willing to say I'm tired on too many occasions when really we're not tired. We just don't want to do anything. And screen time was one of those things where I found, like, I'm checking out. I'm just being lazy. And so I had to remind myself of that hard truth. Like, you're not tired, you're just being lazy. Go enjoy time with the people you love. Which brings me to the next point, is stop thinking about others that are likely not thinking about you. And what I mean by that is, you get on Facebook and you scroll and you see everybody's lives, you see everybody's timeline, and you see what they're doing, how they're doing, what activities are they doing, posting pictures of what they've done on the weekend. You could be, even if it's checking in on your favorite sports teams. Like I'm a big Arsenal soccer fan. I'm a big Bills fan, Buffalo sports fan, big time sports fan. And I was constantly looking to see, especially with soccer, the transfer window just closed not too long ago. NFL season is firing up. Hockey season is next month. And I get caught in just seeing all the news feeds, all the stuff that's going on top of everybody that I know. And I just realized, like, these people, if it's a sports team, they definitely don't know that I exist. They have no clue. And then all these other people, like, they likely aren't thinking about me because they're thinking about their own timeline, and they're thinking about all the people that are in their timeline. So I had to just kind of check myself and say, like, no one's asking for my life to be displayed. No one's asking me for my opinion on social media. And so I don't have this sense of fear of missing out, because I'm why do I need to be worried about missing out on other people's lives when I'm actually missing out on the lives of the people that are directly in my life, like my wife, my kids, my friends, my church, whatever. I need to stop thinking about how I'm missing out on all these people that that are good people that I like to be around, but I'm missing out more on the people that I'm interacting with face to face, not through a screen. So I had to really remind myself, like, man, they're just not thinking about you. They don't care about your opinions on most things or most days. So if they're not asking, like, why do you care? And I have no sense of missing out if I'm too busy living my life here. The fourth thing that's on my lock screen is it says stop making your availability and your ease of access so easy. And to me, it's kind of like an idol. If somebody texts me, I want to text right back. I rarely have more than 10 text messages in my phone because I'm constantly replying back. I don't need to be accessible all the time. I need downtime too. And I need time to be focused in on the important things. Like if I'm at church, I need to worry about church. If I'm at home, I need to be worried about home. Is there laundry? Is there a vacuuming that needs to be done? Do I need to be fixing my kids' dinner? Do I need to be getting ready for school, doing homework? Is there things that my wife wants done? Like I can be worried about all those things and be accessible to my family more than I am accessible to everybody else who's not in my family, who's not directly standing face to face with me. And that's a big deal for me. And then lastly, I just put lock your phone away and be present where you are, which kind of ties it all in. And I have a phone locker. It's a little thing on Amazon. It's like this big. I just put my phone in it. I can set a timer. I lock it so that way there's no access. I can't break it open unless I break the plastic. And it forces me to just put my phone down for a while and be present. And yeah, that to some people that's extreme. And again, that people that are very disciplined who don't struggle with this, they're going to look at that and be like, "Wow, sweet self-control." But to me, like I had to do that because I don't have self-control. And as a Christian, that's a problem because one of the fruits of the spirit is self-control. And I want the spirit to fill me with that sense of self-control so that I can better manage my time, better manage my mental state. So all that to be said, like I think that if you just put your social media away, if you just go without it for 1 month, like I'm interested to see what your life looks like. Like I challenge you to consider deleting all social media as school ramps back up. A lot of things are on a lot of people's plates. You know, sports seasons are coming around. This change of the season, all the holidays are coming up. Take September to do like a no social media September and see what your life is like, even after a week. Like, do you miss it? What do you miss about it? What part of it is so gratifying to you? Is it the notifications? Are you even getting that many notifications? Are you upset that you get a notification that's like your local golf club is having a scramble and you're like, what does that have to do with me? I'm not going to be in the scramble. Um, just try to step back and unplug for a bit and see if that makes a difference in your life. Because for me, I know that my mental state was suffering. My quality time and quantity of time with my family was suffering. And I really just wanted to get back to the basics and saying, like, how do I really pour into my family? How do I get to a better mental state so I can think more clearly? When do I get back to a state of not thinking about, oh, I should post this. I've got a hilarious thing. I want to know what everybody else thinks. Or look at all the cool things I've done. Like those things shouldn't matter. And I want to spend more time in the Word. I want to be more diligent in the Word, more diligent with my family, more diligent with everything I've got, because that's the nature of this channel. Is I need to be a better steward of these things, so that way I can feel more blessed by these things. Like even I'm not being a good steward with my screen time because all I'm doing is checking out and just doing the stuff. And we have to ask ourselves: is the Lord glorified in my screen time? Is the Lord or the kingdom being advanced with my screen time? How much discipleship am I actually doing on Facebook? How much interacting am I doing on Facebook that is in the name of the Lord? Because if you're not doing any of it and you still are consuming a lot, we should probably ask ourselves, like, what is that doing for my spiritual life? What is that doing for my mental health? And if these things aren't in line, maybe it's time for you to reconsider. If this video is hard for you or you're like, this guy, what does he know? I mean, maybe it is time for you to take a break from social media just to see. just to see what it's like. You don't need the praise from all these people that don't know you. You don't need all the praise from the world. You don't need all the shares and likes. You just need it from the Lord. Like, isn't that the goal, to steward all of our things so well that at the end of our life, God says, "Well done, good and faithful servant"? Or is it going to be like in the parable where he says, "No, that's not good"? So I hope that's helpful. I hope that's beneficial. And until next time, be good stewards in all things. We'll see you.